Yo, here we go. It's Saturday night, first week in February. First week in February, as promised. This is the podcast that I said I was going to do. This is your hedonist art therapist and catalyst for you to be braver than Asterix, natural kicks, no artificial hits, no artificial tits. This is the Emotional Debris podcast, coming up fast. I bring skills from the past, I'll forever last. I do shows in the back of a pickup, I flow without a hiccup, put sounds in a needle for you to stick up, see what creations you can sick up. Time to get moving, man, to zip up, roll out the hip hop, the D&B and the dub, for all the people on the way to the club, and I'll get on it. I just rode in on a comet, I'm right out of a comic. You can't smoke it, snort it or bomb it. I'm organic, I'm not hydroponic. I'll get under your glands like I'm bubonic. Plug this into the back of your head like you Johnny Mnemonic. Cause I was bored of stuff before, I was sick and eaten. Nearly had me defeated, nearly had me beaten. Sitting dreaming about the life I weren't leading, the things I weren't achieving. But I just kept believing that one day I'd be leaving. I moved to the north with a musical whirlwind tour. Everybody knew that Draz was raw, everybody knew that Draz knew the score. I just met this girl that I like, she's changed my perception of women in just one night. I would have smashed her if she asked me, but I kissed her goodnight, let him roll past me, put her in a taxi. You should see my list of international mates, Australians, South Americans, and the model from the States. I don't care that I used to clean bogs and serve plates. As long as I got music, then life's great. Who the are you to criticise me anyway? Go on, slag me off if you dare. Say what you want about me, I don't care. Shout out to that hottie with the blue hair, who's given me some motivation, some positive inspiration to spread through the nation, helping everybody who's in desperation. I'll take the weight off your shoulder before you look 10 years older. Bitter and colder, clear out your debris, give it to me, I'll carry your shit for free. I'm choosing life, love and liberty. Fuck your existential envy, get off the couch, feel the music before your muscles waste and you're useless. Fuck fucking Charlie Sloth, fuck fire in the booth. I'm gonna go round his house and throw a petrol bomb through his roof. Cause I'm a ghillie sniper suit. Yo, I'm out there with a bazooka and I'm gonna verbally shoot ya. And yo, this is the Emotional Debris podcast. Tune in. Everyone, hit me up with your requests, tell me what you want to hear. You can find me, Medicine Media UK, on YouTube. You can find me, Draz16 on Twitter. You can find me, Dwayne Aspinall, on Facebook. You can find me on SoundCloud, but you'll have to ask me because I say shit that I shouldn't be saying, and that's my secret account, so I'll send that if I like you and I don't think you're a grass. Alright, we're going to fade out the music now. We're doing this the old fashioned way, with a turntable and with music that's fading out with a mixer. Just like that. Not fully digital, not fully digital. Alright, there we go. Oh, it's not out, it's not out. Here we go, here we go. There you go, that's better. How you doing, everyone? Welcome to the Emotional Debris podcast with me, Dwayne. I'm your host. I'm the main man. I'm the one who's put this all together. Welcome to everybody who's watching live on Facebook. It's nice to have you joining me. You're getting the heads up first. You're going to get to see this first before anybody else does. And you get to give me feedback before this goes out live. So if I say anything that's controversial, that might upset you, you never know, I might edit it out if I like you. If I slag any of my old friends off, there's a person watching now who she still speaks with one of my old friends, so if I slag her off, feel free to tell her that I'm slagging her off. Maybe she'll have the balls to ring me and ask me why I'm slagging her off, who knows. So who am I? I'm Dwayne, or aka Draz, Dwayne Robert Aspinall. I'm the main man from Medicine Media UK. I set that up myself nearly 16 years ago. It used to be called Medicine for the Mind Media, and then we sort of changed it because it was a bit of a mouthful. And I'm the front man of a group called Shades of Sound, and we started as DJs 18 years ago, me and my main man Danny Boy, aka DJ Danny Core, aka DJ Electro. And then we kind of went our separate ways, and I've just sort of gone and done my own thing, and I've kept the brand Shades of Sound. So whenever you see me DJing, or if you see Shades of Sound on a flyer anywhere, that's me. Pop in and see me. What is emotional debris? Well, emotional debris is all this crap and clutter that you're keeping in your mind. Some of it's physical and some of it's mental, but they're both connected, all right? So one form of emotional debris, as I said in the prequel show, is the crap and clutter that you keep in your house that you think that you need, that you don't. Sentimental crap that takes up space in your house that you should probably clean out. Just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. I'm a hoarder. I'm the worst for it. And I just keep collecting more crap. And honestly, I can't fit it all in my wheelie bin. I will, maybe one day I'll show you under me stairs. It's hilarious. It's hilarious, and that's slowing me down. And then there's emotional debris that you collect, like regrets. You know, everyone's got regrets. All this shoulda, woulda, coulda, and that'll hold you back. Me again, I'm the worst for it. What I'm going to do on this podcast is I'll probably pour my heart out a lot. Because who are you going to listen to? Honestly, who are you going to listen to? Someone who's had it easy, who's never been there, and they've had everything their own way, and they've never had to struggle for anything. Or you're going to listen to me, who's been kicked in the balls that many times and fallen over and picked myself back up, done something positive with myself. No matter how much people try and put me down, that just stokes the fires of desire even more to want to go out there and prove people wrong. So I'll give you situations I've been in as we go through the series of doing this podcast, and then you can relate to me and say, yeah, that Dwayne guy has been kicked in the balls enough, and I'll take his advice. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't have the answers for everything. Although I'm philosophical, I do not have the answers for everything. Some of you have the answers, and that is why over the last week you would have seen me putting out videos asking for answers. Some of it's been my opinion, some of it's been your opinion, and I've got getting some good answers. So how am I going to help you to fix it? One way I'm going to help you to fix it is by bringing in experts who know about topics. So I got a friend of a friend who's friends with a spiritualist, who she does all this spiritual cleansing and healing. I want to get her on the show. Other people who are philosophical, other people who have a weird way of thinking, I want to get them on the show. So what do I do in my day job? Because I don't make a living out of this. As those of you who are watching on Facebook could probably tell, I'm in my bedroom. So I call this Medicine Studios, but that's laughable. My studio, that's long gone, that's 4 years ago. And that was only a back room with loads of bloody equipment piled on top of each other that weren't all getting used. In my day job, I'm a teacher, a special needs teacher. And it really does test my patience, but it's making me grow a bit of a thicker skin. And the kids are funny. But that's all I'm going to say about what I do for a profession, because it'd be unprofessional for me to talk about it. I might drop in little hints about what I teach, but other than that, that's all you're going to get to know. Those of you who know me know anyway. Alright? So, why am I being censored? Well, I'm censoring myself at the minute, because there's a lot of grasses out there. And recently there's been a lot of people trying to grass on me and cause a lot of bother for me. And I know who you are. I know exactly who you are. But often discretion is the greater part of valour. And so I know that you know that I know. But for now, we'll just keep it at that. And when the time comes, we'll have it out. Or if you think that you're brave enough or smart and intellectual enough to come and have it out with me, feel free. But I ain't going to let that be emotional debris and a weight upon my mind. It's obviously a weight on yours, and your life ain't that interesting if you feel the need to have to slag me off and go and grass on me and try and cause trouble for me. So that's enough said of that. I'm going to try not to use the F word too much. And you know why? Because I think the word friend is misused too much these days. You thought I was going to say something else then, didn't you? But I'm not. I probably will say the F-U-C-K word, but if you think it's too much, just let me know, and I'll try and keep it to a minimum. I have got a trash mouth when I'm at home, when I'm not at work, because I don't have to refrain from being trashy mouthed around the people I know and the people that love me. Alright, so you're going to get a list of my analogies as we go through the podcast. I'm going to give you loads of funny analogies. And the first analogy that I want to read out is from my main man, Kath. Those of you who know Kath, he's a top rapper from Jarrah, South Tyneside. He's got a massive fan base, and he's got a cool philosophy on life. And something he said a long time ago is, don't hold grudges, because that's like letting somebody, hang on, let me start again. Don't hold grudges, because that's like letting somebody live in your head rent free. And that resonates with me, because holding a grudge is an emotional debris. You're going to carry that around, and it's going to weigh heavy on your heart. And you know what they say, you know, ignorance is bliss, and the most ignorant people are often the most blissful. The ones who don't care and just couldn't give a shit who they upset, they're the ones who seem to be the happiest. Whereas me, who's a bit sensitive, and I try not to upset people, and then I carry it around. I've got this big giant bag, like, you know, the holdall's getting so overfilled now that I just can't carry any more emotional debris. And so that's what this podcast's about. More than anything, it's me getting loads of stuff off of my chest. I want to try not to be too comical on purpose, because I think when you try and be comical, you're just not funny. But there is going to be things that I say that are funny. If you like it, laugh along. If you don't like me podcast, what we're 10 minutes in now, then you can just turn off. Because there's enough podcasts out there, and there's enough trash for you to be able to listen to. Second analogy I wanted to give you is from one of my ex-girlfriends, who we're still really good mates. Actually, she's probably one of my best mates. I still love her in a way. And when she was dating someone else after us, she told me this one. Don't see someone as a priority when they only see you as an option. Again, that's real food for thought. Because I always prioritise people, you know, and I sort of, I put other people first and I keep my promises. But it's a shame that we live in a world where not everyone thinks like that. And that's unfortunate. That is real unfortunate. And we're going to look at that as to what's going on in society, as to the reason that society's heading into an abyss. You're going to hear me say that a lot over the course of this podcast. Society is heading into a toilet, an absolute toilet. And I think you'll agree, you know, unless you're walking around with blinkers on or you only watch the right-wing media, then this place, you know, it's in serious trouble. And I don't think it's just our country. You know, it's endemic of the human species. So you will hear me sometimes reference the same things. One of my analogies that I like to use quite frequently, because we're living in the age of communication where everybody's speaking but no one's listening, and there's so much noise out there. To be able to fine tune it and listen to people is difficult. All right, and one of my analogies on friendships in the communication age where everyone's speaking and no one's listening is that modern friendships are like Primark clothes. They kind of make, break and throw away and disposable. And people don't value them like they used to. But it's lucky for me that I was made in the 80s when clothes were a bit more robust. And if you put a bit of weight on and pop a button off, then you could probably stitch it back on and repair it. I'm an amicable sort of bloke, and I will always give people the time of day if they've offended me and I've cut them off. Because I do cut people off quite quickly. I'm kind of like, yeah, anyway, good luck with the rest of your life. You're going to fucking need it. See you later. Bye now. All right. And that's one of my problems. That is one of my problems. That is a debris. Maybe I'll get it from my old man. I don't know what it is. It's something I need to stop doing. It's an issue I address. Maybe there's other people out there that are like that. But at the same time, you can't hang on to people when they're getting a bit shabby around you. Do you know what I mean? We're going to talk about dating throughout the show. Because again, in the modern age of communication where everyone's speaking and no one's listening, the world of dating has changed. And those of you that know me know that I've been having a go at online dating pretty unsuccessfully. And I've got my analogy about this. So I've been formulating this analogy for years now. And it's that dating is like jeans shopping. You're not going to buy the first pair of jeans that you try on in the shop. You got to make sure they look good with your shoes. You got to make sure that they're not too restrictive and tight, i.e., you know, the person's too on you all the time. You got to make sure that they're not too loose, and that you don't want to have to wear a belt with them, i.e., you don't want to have to demand too much from that person, and you're not getting enough back. You got to make sure that if you dash them on the rocks in hard times, that they're going to survive. And most of all, you don't want anyone else wearing your jeans because you don't know where their dirty bits have been and what infections you might get from wearing the jeans after someone else has had them on. I mean, I could add on to this over and over. I will add on to this. This analogy is going to get so big over the course of my life. Hopefully I won't have to do too much dating in the near future. Hopefully I'll find a decent bird to settle down with. What I want out of a missus, so if there's any beautiful women out there who would like to be me missus, is just someone who gives me sparkles, who makes me feel amazing to be around, and it's a mutual feeling between the two of us. And that's what you should want from any partner, really. There's the main things. I heard it said by a wise man not so long ago. I always take his advice because he's done all right for himself, and he said to me, Dwayne, you're going wrong because you're looking for someone to love you. What you got to do, mate, is find someone who'll put up with your shit, and then they'll love you later on down the line. That's more important. I don't know if he's right, but he seems to be doing pretty well, so, you know, I'll take his advice on board for now. But I think the problem with online dating is that it's just full of sex pests. And I think the internet facilitates people's bad behaviour even more because they're hiding behind a computer. Whereas if you were kind of face to face, would you say these things? Would you, if you were in a bar and you met some girl, would you get your knob out for her? You probably wouldn't, would you? Because you'd get a slap in the face and you'd probably get arrested. So then why do guys feel the need to be sending pictures of their bits to girls? And so this means that, for me, a decent, honest, genuine guy who's looking for love online, which is unfortunate because I'm antisocial, so that's what I've got to do, that by the time they get to someone like me, they've just been bombarded by so many creeps that they just can't be bothered to talk to me. But my mate June, she says to me, Dwayne, what it is with you is that because you're really intelligent, and any girl that you meet is going to have to probably be as intelligent or more to be able to be with you. And that is something that occurred to me. And then someone else said to me, I don't know why you're wasting your time trying to find someone to give love and affection to, because you're bouncing it back on yourself really well in terms of the things you do in mind, body and soul. So I take on board other people's opinions and I mull it over. But it's going to get to the point where if I don't meet someone in the near future, then I'm probably just going to get a cat. Because, cats are friendly, they can look after themselves. And I would want an independent woman who can look after herself, not someone who's like a dog who's constantly needs looking after. Because I've done all that before, I've been there, done that, done the looking after business. I need someone who's going to look after me back as well. One of the things I want to talk about on the podcast, we're going to come back to this a lot, is how to motivate yourself in different ways. Because with all this debris that's weighing us down in society as we're crawling into the abyss, it's going to get harder and harder to motivate yourself. And self-belief and self-esteem is going to get more and more difficult. And as there's more dickheads per square metre than there's ever been, there's going to be more people trying to kick you and put you down and tell you that you can't do something and you can't achieve the things you want to achieve. Well, let me tell you this. Normally the people who will laugh at you and put you down and be snide behind your back and slag you off, they're the ones who, it's because they don't believe in themselves. They ain't got the self-belief and the determination and the guts and the balls to go out there and chase what they really want out of life. So, my self-belief started when I was getting to the end of college and I knew I was going away to uni. Some of you who follow my YouTube channel, Medicine Media UK, will already know this. You might have already seen it, where I talk about me so-called mates who told me, you ain't never going to get to uni, mate. You're just going to be stuck round here like the rest of us, doing the same crap as the rest of us, and if you do go uni, you'll fuck it up and you'll be back within a few months. Well, guess what? I made it through uni and I'm still here now. And that was when I started to believe in myself and think, yeah, I can do the things that I set my mind to. Because I weren't very confident growing up as an individual. I got bullied a lot. I was a bit of a loner. I stuck out like a sore thumb because I had stupid hair, because I had a stupid fucking bum fluff tash. And in a little place like Nuneaton, Treacle Town, it's hard to blend in. It's not like if I lived in a city, I could have looked how I wanted and been the freak that I wanted to be. And now I live in a big city and I can be the freak that I want to be. It's great. I can be all the weirdo I want to be and blend in with all the other weirdos. But times are getting harder to meet other weirdos. So if you're a weirdo, inbox me and we'll have a chat. And it just so happens that all the best people in my life are weirdos. Just pure weirdos. I like that. Why do you want to be normal? What is normal? What do we consider to be normal? What is straight lace nowadays? Everybody's got some skeleton locked down in the basement, aren't they? Everyone's got some dirty, dark secret that they're trying to keep, and the thoughts and feelings that they've got going on that they keep a lid on, that they don't really want people to know what's going on in their mind. But me, I'm open and expressive. I don't hide nothing. I just tell it how it is. And this is sometimes to me detriment. And people are like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And I'm thinking, no, what the fuck's wrong with you? I'm the normal one. I often wonder that. Am I the normal one and everyone else is a weirdo? And again, this is debris that I'm carrying around. Maybe what I should do is just go trekking in Nepal and just clear my mind of all this crap. Alright, so we're going to look at ways to motivate yourself. And I'd say one of the ways to motivate yourself is tell yourself something in the morning. Wake up in the morning and even if it's dragging on you, say, I am going to make it through this situation. I am going to get the things that I want. I am going to go out there and chase what I want. So my career as a teacher, I had to build up to that. It didn't just happen overnight. I was at college and then I was a community volunteer teacher working with the elderly. I set up my own courses, which cost me. I worked 1 day a week with teenagers who are being excluded from school until people saw that I was talented enough to be able to do it. But while I was doing that, I was having to work a full-time job as a bartender in a place that really done my head in, having to serve obnoxious people while they're having a good time and I'm grafting my arse off. And every day I would get up in the morning and I'd tell myself, just one more day, Dwayne. It's just 12 hours, man. Just come on, fight through it. And it nearly broke me. And there's times in my life when I've nearly been broken by my situation, but that hope in my heart has driven me through. So all the good things I've done in my life, like becoming a rapper, a long distance runner, a DJ, a media producer, getting to Australia, I've had to go through all that crap and say, look, just keep telling yourself, Dwayne, you're going to change this, you're going to change this. But sometimes maybe write it down. That's a good way to break the mould. Just write stuff down. Leave it in a place where you're going to see it. If you have to do it in big, giant letters in black ink with a marker pen, if you have to write it on your mirror in lipstick, you do that. Break that mould. Alright? Don't let people tell you that you can't achieve it, because they will. People will be snide and they'll laugh at you, and you won't always get people's support. I'll say this, I love you, mum, because you have supported me every step of the way. I'm so lucky. People don't realise how lucky I am to have a mum that has pushed me every step of the way. Sometimes there's things that she ain't wanted me to do, and now she has regrets. Like she wanted me to be an actor, but she had to set me out to work because the place where we were living, and because there was just the two of us, I had to be able to support the household. So it weren't really a good idea for me to go and be an actor and be in and out of work. But, my mum let me have my decks in the front room. How many of your mums let you have your decks in the front room? Come on. How many of your mums would come back from London with import records that nobody else had? How many of your mums would take you to festivals and get down and boogie with you and enjoy a good laugh with you and your mates and be on your own level? When I've said, well, I want to get into long distance running, my mum's like, what do you need? And by all means, my mum is not affluent at all. She works really hard. So it does help if you've got the support network around you. If you ain't got the support network around you, that's what I'm here for. Offload on me, offload onto me shoulders. Right, I'll be more than happy. If you want to offload, I'll be your counsellor. I can't help you all of the time. I do have stuff to do myself. But I will help you where I can. I'll find ways to motivate you. If you're in a shit job that you didn't want to do, I'll help you get out of it. I'll help you find some way of getting out of it. If you're trapped in a bad relationship, I'll maybe come and help you get out of it, because I've been there, I've done it. I've been the man who's been kicked and been down with sore bollocks. So yeah, offload on me, inbox me and offload on me. This is only going to be a 45-minute podcast, by the way, so I can't cover all of the topics I want to, but this is going to be ongoing. What I want from this podcast, why I'm doing this, is because I'm hoping to break out into broadcasting. But realistically, I can't see that any of the big companies are going to give me a job, because I'm a bit of a Raji. For those of you who don't live in the northeast, by the way, who are not familiar with the term Raji, this means ragey. I'm a bit of a ragey, and I'm a bit crazy and a bit weird, and opportunities in radio and broadcasting don't come along very often. Alright? Back to motivating yourself, you've got to set the goals. Set the goals. Write it down in bullet points. Alright? And then tick them off one at a time. Your life goals. You should have short-term ambitions and long-term ambitions, because you can't just confuse them all and whack them all in one. You got to have little steps first. Don't try and run before you can walk, for example. We're going to be going through a lot of music. Man, music's so big that I couldn't cover it. I could be here for 2 or 3 hours trying to cover it. I'm a bit of a music snob. I'll admit I'm a bit of a music snob. I'm right up my own arse about my music. I'm not telling you that I like going and watching opera. I would go and watch opera. I've been to see an orchestra with the last girl I was dating. Fuck me, she was boring. But the orchestra was interesting. So it's good that I didn't have to talk with her for 2 hours. I could just sit and watch and listen. But music, who do I listen to? Well, being a rapper, I like rappers that make music for other rappers. So Loki, Akala, Jest, Brain Tax. Brain Tax ain't really around anymore, but he's got a big body of work. Recently I've gotten into MF Doom, Daniel Doomhill. wow, absolutely wow. If you like your lyrics and your poetry, MF Doom is amazing. Some people are just rhyming a couple of words a line. I swear to God, this guy is rhyming whole paragraphs, and then he's remixed the Sade albums into his own album, and it's just beautiful. Or as me mate says, it's like caramel in your ears, which I'd never heard that before. I just think that's such a nice saying. Caramel in your ears. I like music with substance. Anything that's been made properly. That's not. I mean, I can't say if it's just commercial or not, but let's be honest. Commercial music, yeah, is not really conducive to real musicians anymore. There's not enough talented people out there in the forefront, and unless you're talking about either something destructive or sex, then you're probably not going to get a record deal. You know, to quote Bill Hicks, since when did banality and mediocrity become a good image for our kids? It's not really, is it? I still like me house music. Those of you who follow me on Facebook, you'll see that I still have a mix every now and then on the live feature of Facebook. I still like me drum and bass. Hospital Records is still good. Tony Coleman's still a laugh. But it's about time, Tony Coleman, that you gave me a shout out, because I keep messaging in and you still ain't give me a shout out. And if you didn't give me one soon, then I'm going to stop listening to your podcasting and I'm going to stop buying your records. All right? Who sucks? Who won't I listen to? Oh, bloody hell, now this is a big list. I won't listen to anyone that sells their music with sex. So I don't care how good your lyrics are. If I turn your video on and you've got some girl half naked dancing and bogling and twerking, I'll just turn your shit off. I will. I'll just turn your music off. The same goes for if I turn your music on and you've got a voice filter and auto-tune. I couldn't give a toss how good your lyrics are. I'll turn it off, because you shouldn't have to rely on that. And when we go back to talking about censorship, I'm going to talk more in depth about music and sex, because I do think it is a problem. One of the things I want to talk about on a regular basis is the gentrification of the areas where you live. So I've noticed a lot of big changes in Newcastle since I arrived here, and it's I don't know whether it's to the detriment of the people who actually live here. And there's only so many bars and restaurants that a city needs. Now, why this ain't good? Yeah, it's good to have choices, and it's good that there's lots of companies competing with each other. But then what happens? There's only so many people live here, and there's only so many people dining out on a night and going to bars. So that means that no one's really making any money, are they? And then I'll tell you about when me and my mate tried setting up a bar a couple of years ago, like what, 2 Octobers ago now, and there was no way we were going to get a licence because we were the little man. So no matter how hard we tried, we weren't going to get through the council. And even if we did get a licence, there would have been loads of other crap that we would have had to deal with. Probably your local plastic gangsters trying to extort us and whatnot. Or, you know, other bar owners giving us shit and slagging us off and all that crap. So I'm kind of glad that me and my mate didn't go for it in the end. Because I think that Newcastle's just saturated with bars. You know, and it's becoming like High Street as well, which is a problem. Now, tell me where you live. Tell me how much it's changed. Are you happy that it's the way that it used to be? Are you happy that it's changing? Tell me what you like about all these changes that are going on. The unfortunate thing is people like me are getting pushed further and further away. Now, being a bit of a conspiracy theorist, obviously I can't tell you where I live and who's doing what, but I think there's a serious attempt to gentrify my area and sort of move people like me even further out. It's closed off at the minute, my area. And now this is having a massive dramatic effect on local businesses. I've been down the shop today and he's lost a grand in takings in the last week from the people who come in to buy newspapers, because they'll buy fags and lottery tickets and a bag of crisps and chocolate or whatever with their paper, and he's lost a grand in just those regular newspaper sales alone. And this is because the area's closed off. And I reckon that they're doing it on purpose so it gets more run down. And that's why I never see council wagons around my area. So if anyone from my local council's listening, pull your finger out, because I'm not going out there with a black bag and a litter pick again. Alright? Conspiracy theories. Ooh, this is a touchy subject. I'm going to introduce you to it now. I'm not going to go into them all. Well, let's do an episode on conspiracy theories. And you can message in and tell me what your favourite conspiracy theories are. You know, everything from the moon landings to Elvis being alive or whatever it is, down to the smallest ones. You know, Madeleine McCann's dead or killed by her parents or whatever. But I say, look, what is a conspiracy theory? A conspiracy takes place when two or more people commit something in secret that can cause a lot of shit. That's about the definition of it. And people say to me, Dwayne, oh, you're such a conspiracy theorist. Why would they do that? Well, I say, no, you're just a coincidence theorist if you think that this is not possible. You know, when you got the most powerful country on earth in the 1960s, wrote a book saying that they're going to crash planes into their own buildings and blame it on Cuba. And then they rehashed the book in 99 and they changed Cuba to Islam. And then they go and crash planes into their own building. You know, I don't care if you don't like what I just said. Most people don't believe 9/11 now. And that's opened up the world of conspiracies. Maybe a lot of stuff was more underground back then in 2000. And then people who saw the Twin Towers collapse, they saw you know, you can't keep this under wraps. And then it opens up a can of worms. You start to distrust your country. Should I be worried about saying this? About Big Brother watching me? Nah. Fuck Big Brother. I don't care. Because they've probably been watching me for years. And if they're really worried about me being a dissident, I'm sure they would have come and gotten me by now. James Bond's retired, man. Do you know what I mean? James Bond's retired. And it's a couple of computer geeks sitting around in a scabby room in what was the MI5 building. There's probably now else in there. You know, if they were that serious about stopping people having an opinion, then they would have gotten that Manchester bomber when he was on telly saying he was going to kill people. So I think the fear of Big Brother is actually a lot worse than what it is. I've been told recently, oh, Dwayne, you need to watch out for Big Brother. Nah, I ain't bothered. Come and take me away and drop me off in Uruguay. Do me a favour, because it's shit here, it's cold. And people are just fucking miserable because it's cold. And this sort of goes into internet freedoms, right? So why they're banning porn? They're saying that they're banning porn because it's bad for young people, which it is. I totally agree. And yeah, there should be a limit on what you can access and what you can see, because too many people spending the time laying about jerking off. And it's not productive, is it? You know, there's people in Westminster who should be working, and this was in the paper, this is not me just making it up, you can look this up yourself, watching porn 160 times a day, over 30,000 times between July and September. Now that's a problem. You should be at work, man. You don't go to work to jerk off, come on. But what that's really about is that they want access to your ISP, Internet Service Provider, so that they can snoop on you more. And so that they can shut down anybody who's got a point of view. And especially because they realised that during the last election, the Labour Party won more votes than normal because of social media and because of people who had an opinion. And what they want is it to be one channel of right-wing crap, of BBC propaganda telling you their point of view and cutting things out. Example of this today in London. What day are we on? We're on the 3rd of February, if you're listening to this. In London today, there was a massive march of around 300,000 people for the People's Assembly against austerity. Now, you could flick through your TV stations and you wouldn't have seen it. Yeah, it was all over Facebook and it's happening. Or another example was when Jeremy Corbyn came to Gateshead, to the Sage, and there was over 10,000 people there. Yet all you saw on the news was Theresa May there with like a handful of people in some factory who are probably paid to be there. So it's a one-sided point of view. Alright, and that's what they want. They want to shut down now what Donald Trump calls fake news, i.e. anyone who disagrees with the things that and the policies that the government put in place. So that's Big Brother. How far they'll go with it, I don't know. Questions to me listeners, sorry. I want you to send in questions and answers. I want you to mail me with what you want me to talk about. You know, I don't have all the answers to everything, but this is an open forum for discussion. Everyone can message in, tell me what they think, tell me what they want to hear about, tell me what guests they want on. And this will make it more interesting. Then it's your show. I want you guys, as me listeners, to have some sort of ownership over what we do. Alright? Who inspires me? Well, I tell you, there's this fella, obviously I can't mention his name, and he went on the run. If you're listening to this, mate, I really respect you. He went on the run, and he ended up somewhere in Eastern Europe with 35 quid in his pocket. He was broke. You know, he'd been reasonably well off, had a good business, ended up there because he was on the run. I can't tell you what for, right? And he's done all right for himself, and he's carved out a life for himself from nothing, and that inspires me. It ain't no good if you're like someone who's rich and you can go out there and just do what you want. If you go out there with nothing and build something and grow something, that inspires me. The people who had nothing, or the people who had everything, lost it and made something back. And this fella used to tell me when I was a kid, Dwayne, don't work hard, work smart. And I never got it because I weren't smart enough. Do you know what I mean? And now I'm starting to see it. But I'm still working hard because I'm still a muppet and I ain't found what it is that I'm smart enough in. Maybe this is my smart get out of jail free card, I don't know. But that inspires me. Who else inspires me? People who tell the truth inspire me. And people who are philosophical. Jose Mujica, the former president of Uruguay, he inspires me. I could listen to the guy all day. And it's interesting, the way that he talks is philosophical. That's interesting. People who are go-getters, they inspire me. People who sit on their arse all day doing nothing don't inspire me. They, being around them, they're like energy vampires. And they'll clutter up your brain with shit just being around them. Alright? Find someone who inspires you to help you change your life. Look at someone and think, oh, I want to be like that. You know, Lewis Hamilton inspires me in certain ways, but I don't ever foresee that I'm going to drive an F1 car, date a pop star, or have millions and millions of pounds. But I like his balls. Not literally, you know, not his physical ones. I like his courage. I like the way that he presents himself. I'm sure there's aspects of him where he's a bit of a cock. But I like him, and I'm inspired by him, and motivated by him. I like seeing him do well, and it gives me hope that there's something out there that we can grasp onto to change our lives, to move forward. People who are spiritual, they inspire me. So at this point, I'm going to give some shout outs. We've got about 4 or 5 minutes left of the show. I want to give a shout out to my DJ mentor, Vix J, and she's on demonfm.co.uk every Thursday at 8 p.m. God, it makes me want to dance. Reminds me of the good old days when house music was pure, and it's beautiful to see that someone out there is still loving proper house music and still representing it. And there's going to come a time when the right people are going to notice her, and they're going to give her the proper credit she deserves, and she'll be stepping up onto the big stage, and I'll be proud to say I know her. She's amazing, and she inspires me on a weekly basis. I feel free for them 2 hours that she's on the radio. I can just turn everything else off, forget about all my debris and my clutter that I'm holding on to. I want to give a shout out to my main man Ricky, because yesterday it was 4 years since we met each other in Australia. Ricky's a DJ, DJ Rickstar, aka Skullface. You can find him on Mixcloud. He's pretty good actually. Me and Ricky talk all the time. I've got much love for my main man Ricky. I want to give a shout out to me mate Junie Mo, who gives fantastic advice, because you're really cool. I want to give a shout out to the really tall, cool lass with funky hair and funky clothes who I met recently. I want to give a shout out to my mum, who supports everything I do. Finally, I want to give a shout out to all the decent rappers in the Northeast, because we ain't making no money. Some of you are a bit shit, but we don't do it for the money, we do it for the love of hip hop. I ain't looking to get famous through hip hop. I do it because I like poetry and I like sharing my poetry with other people, and that's the kind of scene that we have here in the Northeast. It's not like it is down south, where it's really competitive and everyone's jibing and backstabbing each other over their lyrics and all this. You know, we got a lot of love up here in the Northeast. So yeah, shout out to all the Northeast rappers. Respect. Maybe one day I'll come and do another show with you. You'll see me about. What do I want from this podcast? Short term, I want this podcast to just grow around the people I know. And what I want is for you, the people I know, my listeners, to share it about. And I don't want you to always agree with me. Feel free to troll me and argue me if you want to. But share it about. Say, oh, I know this decent podcast. Will you have a listen? If anyone knows anyone in radio, share it with them. Say, I've got this mate who does podcast and broadcasting. Will you have a listen to him? And I want it to grow with my brand. I want my brand to grow. I want sponsors to come on board. And long term for this podcast, well, I'd love it if it became like the Joe Rogan podcast, where he's into like 1,000 episodes. and he's probably, I think he's the 4th or 5th leading podcast on the internet. That is cool. That is really cool. Sponsorship. If anyone out there wants to get a shout out for their business on my podcast, for a single podcast it's 20 quid, and you'll get a couple of shout outs, one at the start, one at the end. If you've got a jingle, or if you want me to make you a jingle, then I'll do that for you. And for 100 quid, you can have 10 episodes where you'll get 3 shout outs or your jingle per 45 minutes of broadcast. Alright, now the money ain't going to go into my own pocket, I can promise you that now. The money's going to go back into the business to improve this crappy little microphone that I'm chatting into now, to get a new computer with a bigger screen and better software, and to be able to grow it into a studio and a proper brand, and to be able to produce media for other people apart from myself. Alright, because I'm sick of just producing media for me. So tell me, we're going to the last couple of minutes now, tell me what your problems are. Inbox Councillor Dwayne, Dwayne Aspinall on Facebook, Draz16 on Twitter, or Medicine Media UK on YouTube. By the way, there's a lot of stuff on my YouTube that's set to private, and it's set to private because of my profession. You know, I don't want to get fired for my opinions, neither do I want to get fired for the controversial things that I say in my music. So I set a lot of stuff to private and only share it with other rappers, so it's only within me circle. So like I said earlier, if I like you enough, I'll share it with you. If I think you're a grass, then I won't. Inbox me, ask me. Scroll down my YouTube page, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, tell me what your favourite song is. Tell me how you think I could do it better. Tell me where you think I could improve. If there's any producers out there, by the way, who are credible, and now I'll say this quite seriously, if you're a producer out there and you're going to offer me some sort of record deal, firstly, come through with the goods. What I want from you is 24 tracks, 24 instrumentals, and I'll give you 12 back. And then if you do alright with them, I'll give you another 12 in 6 months from when you give me the first ones. Alright? Don't be a producer who talks shit and offers me something that you can't deliver, because I have enough people doing that over the last 7-8 years of being a rapper. So many people are trying to suck me off. Oh, Dwayne, you want to be on my record label? Mate, you ain't got no record label. You're just a doylem in your spare bedroom on your laptop trying to be something that you're not, man. You're not Dr. Dre. I'm not Eminem. You're not going to sign me up and give me like a 360 deal over 5 albums. It's not going to happen, mate. Alright? Be realistic. You know, don't try and get rich off of me. Okay? I'm a lyricist. I ain't bothered about being some egotistical fucking look at me. That's why you notice I ain't really in any of my videos. Alright? Because it ain't about me. And you'll find most of my music I slag myself off. Which, I like it that way. I like slagging myself off. It's clearing out my emotional debris. Alright? So on the next podcast, going to have some serious issues to tackle. Hopefully by then I would have cut the grasses out, and then I can say what I want. I can be as controversial as I want. I'm sorry to those of you that logged on today and were expecting to see me machine gunning people, or rather hear me machine gunning people verbally and just taking people apart. Really apologise to you, because that's what you know about me. That's what you sort of expect from me, is that I'm just going to machine gun people. That'll come down the line, trust me. If you keep supporting me and you make this podcast grow into what I want it to be, then yeah, by all means, we'll machine gun away. But at the minute, I have to be kind of the sniper in the ghillie suit who will get into your brain, to be kind of like bacteria and sneak into your brain in a sort of sneaky way. Alright, so that's it. Thank you very much for tuning in to episode +1. Now, if you by the way, I forgot to mention, if you want to get the prequel, if you want to get the prequel to this podcast, then inbox me and I'll send it over. Thank you very much for listening, and tune in next Saturday. Keep an eye out, and we'll do it all over again. Thank you very much. Much love, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.